deep. It is out of here. 7:56. Bond stands alone.
Now Booker with Tucker on him. Throws it up for 8. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo. What a block from Giannis.
17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead.
Minute remaining.
And they're putting Curry in a bigger role, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown.
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
Yes. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Tap Room Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Stacks on Stacks Slides. Joined, as always, with my guy, Mr. Big Ballin' Ben Larson. We are live and direct Sunday night. Ben, how we doing this weekend?
Doing well, man. Doing a hell of a lot better than Colton Brewer. I'm a fucking idiot.
Colton
Cubs
Brewer.
pitcher.
Oh, the dude that punched the wall.
Fucking wall and
Yeah.
broke his hand and is now out for the rest of the season. Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, that's I mean, that's the way the Cubs season's been going, though. So.
Yeah. Fucking idiot.
And so not
But yeah.
not entirely shocked there.
Doing well. Heat's finally subsiding a little bit, so that always helps out in California not to have these triple-digit days. I know you're used to that shit now, but
Yep.
yeah, man, it doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Had a solid week until the day, full faded, but I was due, so it is what it is. You just gotta continue the process and bounce back, dude. And we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that next week. But yeah, man, it's been a good week. 4th of July, fucking fireworks are going off till fucking 5 in the morning around here. Fucking, it was crazy, man. It was crazy,
Yeah.
but glad to be here tonight. Glad to talk some baseball. We're coming up on the Midsummer Classic, so we're really right there in the dog days of summer. The trade deadline is literally, a couple weeks away, Ben, and a lot of teams, they got weaknesses, and
Yep.
they have to take care of them, and we're going to talk about that shortly. But yeah, man, we are being brought to you by the Sharps app, SHARPZ. Make sure to download it to your mobile device. Use promo code JORD517. It's free to download, free to use. Sharps app, track your bets, become a better. So the All Star teams were finalized today. A couple weeks ago on our Sunday show, we went through and did our All Star voting. The starters for the American League are Adley Rutschman at catcher, which I think we both had. Yep. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., which you had. I did not. I do not think that's the right choice, but that's here nor there nor anywhere. Jose Altuve at second base, which we both had. Third base, Jose Ramirez, which we both had. Shortstop, Gunnar, which we both had. And then the outfield, Aaron Judge, Steven Kwan, Juan Soto. We both had Judge and Soto. We did not have Steven Kwan. At the time, Steven Kwan was he wasn't even a qualified hitter at the time when we did it. He had just come back from injury, so and really the only reason why he's a starter over Kyle Tucker is because Kyle Tucker's been hurt. And then DH Yordan Alvarez. And then the reserves were announced today, so the reserves. Let's go down to the reserves. We got. You have them?
Yeah.
All right. Can you name the AL reserves?
So AL reserves, you got Carlos Correa,
Well deserved.
Minnesota, Minnesota. Devers out of Boston. You've got Josh Naylor's another infielder. Isaac Paredes is an infielder. Marcus Semien and Bobby Witt. Your outfielders are Kyle Tucker, Riley Green, and Jaron Duran. And then you have a catcher in Salvador Perez.
Yeah. So Or let's also name the pitchers before we talk about the AL and who got snubbed and stuff. Who's the pitchers?
Pitchers for the AL: Tyler Anderson, Corbin Burns, Clase, Crochet, Gilbert, Holmes, Hook, Lugo, Miller, Reagans, Skubal, and Yates.
Okay, so who are you good? Are you good with the All Star? Because every team first and foremost has to have a representative, right? So
Yeah.
Vlad is the Blue Jays representative. Do I think he should have been the starter? No, but I do think he should have been the All Star representative for the Blue Jays. So regardless, he's on the All Star team. So I'm not upset about it. Is there any that you are kind of, maybe they shouldn't have been in? Maybe someone else was more deserving.
I mean, I think. I think you have to have, since you have to have a player from each team. I think the Isaac Paredes is a little bit of a stretch from Tampa Bay. I mean, great ball player. Don't get me wrong on that, but
the thing is if Paredes isn't going to represent the Rays, who is?
Exactly. That's the problem there. Is I don't think that they have a better player for that team. I mean, I think to not have Westberg there is the big snub. But you need Paredes there he's a third baseman, right? Isaac Paredes.
Yeah, he's third and first.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's the snub, the big snub there, is having Paredes in versus Westberg. But again, you're absolutely right. I don't think there's a pitcher that you could even throw in for the American League to get that Tampa Bay, player in there. So for NL, I think that's
and let's not go to NL yet. We're not doing.
I'm sorry, for AL, I think that's a big one there. Who's our A's player?
Mason Miller.
Oh, Miller. Okay.
Yeah, no argument there.
Yeah. I mean, I think Rooker had a kind of a shot there.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I voted for David Fry as DH, right, when we first did it. But this is we're like 2 weeks removed from that, and now you look at it, and I know David Fry is a better average, but Brent Rooker has like double the amount of RBIs, twice as many home runs. So I do think that Brent Rooker was a little robbed by David Fry, but Cleveland's been really good, and so I get them getting David Fry in there. My biggest snub is Griffin Jax of the Minnesota Twins, the relief pitcher. I do not think Clay Holmes should be an All-Star. I think Griffin Jax could go in over him, and I also think you could put Kenley Jansen over him.
Yeah.
I thought they absolutely missed that, and that is the Yankees getting their guy in. You know what I mean?
What about Blanco? He's another pitcher I think that was kind of snubbed off of off the list for Houston.
Yeah, I think the sticky stuff might have something to do with that, getting suspended for that,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not, as far as the starters are concerned, like, Tyler Anderson, Angels got to get a player in there. He's been their best player.
Mm-hmm.
That's deserved. Garrett Crochet, even if he wasn't the White Sox lone representative, he's absolutely deserving of being an All-Star. He's a fucking stud. Logan Gilbert, again, absolutely deserves to be an All-Star, and he's the Mariners' lone representative. Tanner Houck.
Surprising.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say surprising. I mean, the lineup fucking blows. Like,
yeah,
they only have one guy hitting over 250. But, I mean, like, you can make a case for George Kirby being in there, maybe over Cole Raggins. But Raggins and Lugo have both been really good, so they deserve to be there. And then Tariq Skubal, obviously, he's like the front runner for the AL Cy Young. So he's got to be in there. And I also agree with Riley Green being in there. Like, Riley Green's been fucking, he's like the only dude worth a damn in that Tigers lineup. So I'm not mad at the reserves. I think they actually nailed the reserves pretty well, except for Marcus Semien. We can get Marcus Semien is not an all-star this year, bro. Like, what are we doing?
Is he?
Jordan Westbrook should have made that over fucking Marcus Semien.
Yeah. Is he the lone Texas representative?
Kirby Yates is also in there. Well deserved, by the way. Kirby Yates absolutely should be an all-star.
Yeah. Picture there. Okay.
So my biggest snubs, I should say, is Marcus Semien and Clay Holmes. I think absolutely should not be on this all-star team. In replace of Marcus Semien, I put Jordan Westbrook, who's having a way better year for a better team, nonetheless.
Yep.
And I'm a Marcus Semien guy, you know that, Ben. And then Griffin Jax or Kenley Jensen over Clay Holmes. You could take either one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I would put Jax in there. He's having an incredible year. 1.88 ERA. I think he's like a .72 WHIP. I mean, he's been the Twins' best reliever on a team with Johan Duran. He's been their best reliever. So it's some bullshit because Clay Holmes. I mean, he was great for the first 2 months, Ben. Like, he had like a 0 ERA, but dude, he's been ass for like the last month and a half. He's been a big reason, not a big reason, but he's been a reason why the Yankees have been struggling. I mean, he's blown a handful of games in the last few weeks. So those are my subs. Because if you think somebody got snubbed, you have to, or if you think someone doesn't deserve to be in an all-star team, you have to name the replacement.
Yeah.
Can't just say they don't deserve to be there and then not name anyone. You could also make cases for, some other position players. Obviously, Jordan Westbrook is probably the dude that got most left off the list. Because you could make a case if Jose Ramirez didn't exist, he's the best third baseman in the AL. And Devers, I should say. Devers is really good. He deserves to be there. Devers is there. I'm trying to think of who else might be deserving in the AL. Luis Rengifo. I know he's hurt right now, but Luis Rengifo should be there over a guy like, dude, why is Marcus Semien there, dude? Like, I'm trying to figure this out.
No, I'm with you on that.
I just don't. I do not understand. I mean, Carlos Correa. I'm very happy Carlos Correa got in there because he's having a hell of a year, and he had a terrible fucking year last year. So to see him bounce back the way he has this year has been fucking remarkable, and it's things I love to see. But I just like Westbrook needs to be in there, dude, and I think Luis Rengifo needs to be in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Shouldn't be a single Mariners player that bats that should be in the All-Star game. So they got that right.
Which we don't have, yeah.
They got that right.
Yeah.
And Brent Rooker, I think Brent Rooker should be there too. My A's fandom aside, I do think Brent Rooker should be there. He's going to be a future Philly, though, in the next week or two, couple weeks. All right, let's move over to the National League, Ben. So, the starters on the National League was William Contreras at catcher, which we both had. Bryce Harper at first, which we both had. Ketel Marte, which neither of us had.
Is Bryce Harper playing?
We don't know yet.
We don't know yet. Okay.
Yeah, we don't know. He should be back by then. And Bryce is the kind of guy that if he could play, he's gonna play. You know what I mean? Ketel Marte at second, which neither of us had, but is a good pick. Alec Boehm at third, which both of us had. Trey Turner at short, which was the biggest travesty of the entire voting process, which we'll get to.
Fucking injured all season.
Yeah, we'll get to that. And then we had Yelich, Profar, Tatis Jr., which this guy nailed. 3 for 3. And Ohtani at DH, which you had. I had Ozuna. And then for the reserves, we have Will Smith for the Dodgers. C.J. Abrams, Pete Alonso, Luis Ariz, Mookie Betts, Ellie De La Cruz, Freddie Freeman, Ryan McMahon, Teoscar Hernandez, Jackson Merrill, Elliot Ramos, well-deserved to Elliot. Brian Reynolds, well-deserved to Brian Reynolds as well, and Marcelo Ozuna. And then for pitchers, do you have the list of pitchers, Ben?
Yeah, we've got Tyler Glasnow, Ryan Helsley, Jeff Hoffman, Shota Imanaga, Ronaldo Lopez, Chris Sale, Tanner Scott, Paul Skeens, Matt Strom, Ranger Suarez, Roberto Suarez, Logan Webb, and Zach Wheeler.
It's hard to... I think they nailed the pitchers, dude.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that we have 4 Philadelphia pitchers here.
But they've been so good, dude.
They have been good, but I mean, I just think having, what was it, 7 Phillies on the list and 6 Dodgers on the list, 5 Padres on the list, I think is a little, especially with the Padres and even the Dodgers, I think that's a little excessive.
I mean, dude, it's hard to argue against the Padres. The one I will say, like Will Smith, I know he hit like 3 home runs in the last 2 days, but I mean, like, let's be honest, dude. This guy wasn't. He had a terrible June. June. He had like a 62 WRC plus in June. But if we're gonna take out Will Smith, who's the catcher we're putting in there in the NL?
Patrick Bailey.
He's been, how many games has he played, Ben? He's only played like 55 games. He hasn't been great.
Well, okay, but if we're putting in people who haven't played many games, why is Mookie there? Why is Turner there?
I agree that Mookie shouldn't be there. Turner got voted in. That's a problem on its own.
Yeah.
That's a problem on its own. Mookie, agreed. I think that's a little bit of a reach.
Hold on, let me see how much Patrick Bailey is. I think Patrick Bailey he's played 62 games.
Yeah, 62. What's he hitting? What's his OPS?
754.
His OPS is 754?
Yeah.
That ain't all-star level. No.
Okay, well then hold on. Let's pull up Will Smith then.
I'm not saying Will Smith should be. I'm just saying we gotta find out who's the replacement in the National League. Because I agree, dude. Like Will Smith, to me, like when we talk All Star, and you're like, yeah, Will Smith's an All Star this year. I'm like,
yeah, Will Smith's OPS is 854, but
I agree, dude. Like,
games.
Like when we talk All Stars, and you're like, yeah, Will Smith's an All Star this year. I'm like, huh? Will Smith's an All Star this year? How? Dude hits like top of the order for the Dodgers, and in my opinion, like he hasn't been great at all. But I'm trying to think of a guy like who we gonna put in there. Wilson Contreras. I'm sorry, the other Contreras, Wilson Contreras, the Cardinals, catcher, Williams' brother, probably would have made it if he didn't break his arm and was out for like a month and a half. He probably would have been the representative. And then Sean Murphy was also hurt basically all year. So that leaves him out. Francisco Alvarez. I mean, to be honest, I put Francisco Alvarez in over Will Smith. And Francisco Alvarez only played like 32 games.
Yeah.
But he's been, I mean, he's been the catalyst for that Mets team.
Yeah.
What's Kybert Ruiz? What's Kybert's fucking OPS? Let me pull this up. Because I'm thinking of guys like off the top of my head. I would definitely like, I'm telling you right now, Francisco Alvarez.
576.
576? Yeah, no, never mind. If Francisco Alvarez played all year, he would definitely be, he'd probably be starting the All-Star game, and then Wilson Contreras would be the backup.
Yeah.
Same with Gabriel Moreno, too. Like, Moreno has been hurt a lot. Yeah, the National League, man, the catchers fucking blow, dude. All the top catchers in Major League Baseball are all in the AL. Will Smith is actually leads all catchers in WRC plus, so maybe I should just shut the fuck up.
Then maybe you could have JT Realmuto, but
He's hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they got that right. Francisco Alvarez, he's a beast. Pete Alonso being the Mets representative is a fucking joke. Actually, that's over Mookie should be fucking Francisco Lindor. Francisco Lindor.
Yeah.
How the fuck did Pete Alonso get the fucking Mets bid, dude? Like, what are we doing here? Teoscar had like a good month and he got in. I don't even think he's in a home run in like 4 weeks.
Yep.
Jackson Merrill, well deserved. You called that, Ben.
Mm-hmm.
You called him as an all-star. Heliot Ramos, I think that was a great nod. Brian Reynolds agreed there. My only complaints is Mookie, and you could put Francisco Lindor in there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really my only complaints. I mean, you could make cases for other relievers and stuff, but I mean, like, Helsley's having a hell of a fucking year. Hoffman's having a great year. Tanner Scott's having a great year, and he's the Marlins' only representative. And Matt Strahm is having a hell of a fucking year. And Robert Suarez, you know, he just blew his first save fucking on Friday. Took till July for him to blow his first save. So I think they did a good job on the NL.
Yeah, NL's a little bit better. I'm still
except for Trey Turner.
Baffled at Mookie.
Yeah, Mookie and Trey Turner, but Trey Turner is a prime example why we can't take into account a lot of the fan votes, dude. Because it's a fucking joke that he got voted in, dude. He's missed more than half the year.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. Yeah. Yeah, so maybe it's we need to switch this around where the fans vote in the reserves.
I don't even think vote in the reserves, but the starters should be like 50% fans and then 50% media, or 50% people that actually watch all the teams.
Yeah.
Like, maybe just give me 50% of the vote.
Oh yeah, that'll work. Then we'll have 14 players from the fucking Baltimore Orioles, and then
Nah, I'm fair, dude. I only voted for 2 Orioles.
Mm-hmm.
I only have 2 Orioles written down on my list.
Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm.
But I do think Westberg should be in there for sure. I think he absolutely got snubbed. Yeah. But aside from those 3, I don't like, people were like, "Oh, Ryan Mountcastle should be an all." No, he should not be an all-star, dude. Like,
I'm with you on that.
I would put Vlad over Ryan Mountcastle. I just thought Josh Naylor should have been starting.
Yeah.
And if Santander, if he played either April or May the way he played June, he would have been an all-star. But the thing is, he played April and May like shit, and he had a really good fucking June, but it was too much. It was too little, too late.
Yeah.
If he played May and June like he played June, he would be an all-star.
Yeah.
That's the thing with the all-star, and that's the problem. Is like, same thing with Teoscar Hernandez, dude. Like, Teoscar had like a month tear, Ben, and like that was it.
Where he was great, yeah.
In May,
and then things have just gone downhill.
I mean, he's still been good, but he hasn't been like all-star good.
Yeah,
like it's a difference. But I did want to shout out Jackson Merrill. Jackson Merrill is like he's like one of the 9 youngest all-stars in the history of the All-Star game. He joins the likes of Alex Rodriguez, and other like Hall of Fame players. So Jackson Merrill, you know, hats off to you, Ben. You called it. Absolutely should be fucking AL or NL Rookie of the Year. And I know Paul Skeens also made the All Star team, well deserved as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. Skeens, first player to be picked first overall and make an All Star team in his first professional year.
Yeah, and it's well deserved. But he hasn't played a lot. Obviously, you know, he just came up in May. And like if you were asking me if I had to vote for NL Rookie of the Year right now, it would definitely be Jackson Merrill because he plays every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, what he's done is absolutely incredible, and Paul Skeens is incredible too. Don't get me wrong, but I just think that the value of an everyday player is so much more. Is Skeens? Oh no, Brian Reynolds made it too.
Yeah,
which is well deserved. Brian Reynolds is a hell of a fucking player.
You know, it's going to be interesting at the end of the year too, because you've got two great rookies in the NL, and who's gonna take that? You're gonna have Skeens, who's played 3/4 of the year, and then Merrill, if he continues on this streak that he's having, you know, they're going to be neck and neck.
Yeah,
and again, it's hard to give it to a pitcher. It's happened before.
Yeah,
but it's hard.
I think the one thing that could knock Skeens out is if he has a bad start, which like he's due for. You know, if he gets blown up in the start, that could do it. And then also like he's never pitched this much, so like he's, you know, does Pittsburgh shut him down at some point when they're out of the playoff race?
Yeah, because
Jared Jones is hurt now, and you know Pittsburgh is what, 5 back, Ben? 3.5, 4.
Let me see. I have that up on a different screen. Hold up. Pittsburgh is
like 4
from the wild card.
Wild card, yeah.
From the wild card, they are 4.5 games back.
So, you know, they could very well be out of this thing by August, and then it's like, do the Pirates still continue to like throw Skeens out there every day, or not every day, every 5th day, or do they like, you know, pump the brakes a little bit and shut him down, not to get his, not to like really tire him out. So I think there's a lot involved there. Whereas the Padres are in this thing, dude, and Jackson Merrill's playing every day.
Yeah.
So I think that benefits Jackson Merrill. All right, so that's the all-star teams. If you guys think what were you gonna say, Ben?
No, was it you talking about? I saw a picture I'd taken earlier in the week because I wanted to talk about it on the podcast. Not related to All Stars, but was it you who was talking about Tim Anderson before?
Yeah,
being
before getting punched by
after.
Yeah,
before being rocked by Jose Ramirez, 283 average, 740 OPS, 98 home runs, and 332 RBIs and almost 3,500 at bats. After being rocked by Ramirez, batting a 236, so 47 points lower, a 557 OPS compared to a 740 OPS, no home runs, and 12 RBIs. And 250 at bats.
It's crazy, man. 2 years ago, he was one of the best shortstops in baseball.
Yeah, he was an all-star.
And now he's just like, he's terrible, bro. Like he's so bad to the point that a bad team was like, "Yo, we're just gonna cut you."
Yeah,
like that's how bad he was, and you know that speaks volumes. But you know the talent's still there. Is he like absolutely washed? You know, maybe he is. Maybe like. You know, a lot of guys, they don't work hard once they get to that, once they reach that plateau and just, you know, they're like, they made it, and, you know, that is what it is. And we see that a lot in baseball. Yeah. And we see it a lot in sports, not just baseball, but we really see it in baseball a lot. So maybe that's where he's at. Maybe, you know, maybe someone picks him up on a very cheap deal, and, you know, he realizes this is my last opportunity, and he fucking takes full advantage of it, like Jerickson Profar did for the Padres this year. So I don't know, but man, Tim Anderson, man, that fall off, it's insane, Ben. That's
He hit a fucking cliff.
yeah, an absolute. He fell off, dude. Absolutely fell off.
Yep.
It's been insane. Let's transition over to the
Another
playoffs.
fall off.
Yeah, the playoffs and you know how everything's gonna go in the Yankees. I want to get started with the Yankees because the Yankees are 5-15 in their last 20, 3-7 in their last 10. Just things. Tonight they lost 3-0, Ben, to the fucking Red Sox on national TV, and things are just coming down a little bit. Volpe has hit a wall. Alex Verdugo has regressed back to the mean. I mean, the lineup's just outside of Soto and Judge. I mean, that lineup's just not good. The bullpen, we talked about Clay Holmes earlier when we were talking about the All Stars. He's really come back down to earth and more. Like, what is the outlook in your opinion on the Yankees going forward? And because at the end of the day, the Yankees are only judged by one thing, and that's winning championships. And that's not people being haters and shit. Like that's the Yankees. That's what they do. They got 27 championships, bro. Like a success to the Yankees is winning a championship. A failure is losing, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So I see Yankees Twitter, and like a lot of them are saying this is all Aaron Boone's fault, right? Whose fault is the Yankees? Is it Brian Cashman? Is it Aaron Boone? Is it the players themselves? I mean, I think blame falls in a lot of places, but what do you think, Ben?
I mean, you're right. Blame falls in a lot of places. I think they really exceeded expectations coming out of the gate fast.
Agreed.
And that got everyone so hyped up on the Yankees. But I mean, we've talked about it over and over again. It's like there's two batters on the Yankees, and two batters cannot sustain a whole team.
Unless you have the Mariners pitching.
Yes, unless you have the Mariners pitching, and they don't have the Mariners pitching.
Yeah.
And I think with the history of these pitchers and with the current state of these pitchers, I think things are going to go downhill even more, because you've got Rodon, who's not pitching well right now, and has had the injury history in the past 2 years.
Yep.
And then prior to that had injury history.
Yep.
You've got Garrett Cole, who we don't know where he's at. He has good starts, he has bad starts. One little tweak to that arm, and he's got major issues, and he's out for the season. And then you've got a bunch of your relief pitchers who started off incredibly well and have either gotten hurt or just regressed back to the means already.
Yeah.
And it's not sustainable. I mean, when you have Soto and Judge, but Verdugo's hitting 244, Volpe's hitting 251, Torres 223, Rizzo 223, Stanton 246.
Stanton getting hurt was a big loss too, because he actually was playing well before he got hurt.
Yeah.
I'll give him
he still
that.
has. I mean, I guess he's only played 69 out of the 91 games, but I guess that's 22 games out. But it's like they've got some major issues here in batting, because you only have two players that are consistent and good clutch players.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head to start it off when you said that this team exceeded expectations early on. And I think Yankees fans, like, they were like, oh shit, like, we're gonna be like one of the best teams in the fucking league. And if you follow baseball, or you like know baseball and you know ball, like, we knew that's not how good. We knew the Yankees weren't gonna be that good for the whole season. You, myself, and Irv, we all talked about it, right? We were like, Rodon, Stroman, Cortez, like, they're all going to hit a wall at some point in the regression. They're going to regress to the mean, and they have. And you're right, the bullpen has. And the lineup definitely has. Like, Volpe was like, he was hitting 310 like a month and a half ago. Now he's hitting like 250.
Yeah.
You know? And so, like, people are like, they're trying to find blame. Because blame, you know, that's the thing with sports, dude. People are getting, someone needs to get the blame, dude. And is it Brian Cashman's fault? You know, maybe a little bit of it is because, you know, if George Steinbrenner was alive, I guarantee he would not be satisfied with this at all. And, you know, I don't know George Steinbrenner. I never met him in my fucking life. But I watched enough baseball growing up to know that George Steinbrenner wouldn't have been cool with them trotting Trent Grisham out there in center field every day.
Nope.
So, you know, is it Brian Cashman's fault? Maybe. You know, injuries have a lot to do with it too. Like I said, Stanton got fucking hurt. Dominguez has been hurt. And then Rizzo obviously got hurt. Rizzo was playing like shit regardless, but you know, maybe it is the front office's fault. Maybe it is some of Boone's fault. But at the end of the day, this lineup's just not good. You know? They're Judge, Soto, and then the Mariners lineup. That's basically what they are.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like dudes that would play on the Mariners. is what's in their lineup. So, you know, I don't know where the blames will be placed, but I do know that the Yankees will probably they're probably going to look to make a move in the not in the offseason, but at the deadline. You know, they got to get a starter. They got to get a fucking
yeah, you got to get a starter because, you know, I mean, Heel has been playing out of his mind. Cortez is a good enough number 3, probably. I'd put him for a top 3 as your playoff starter.
Richie said the Yankees' downfall is so beautiful.
Oh, it is.
Shout
it
out to
definitely
Richie.
Is. But then you've got, you know, Rodon and Cole, which might not be there at the end of the year, just injury wise.
Well,
so I don't think you can.
I think Rodon's best years are behind him. I think Cole's best years are behind him too.
Yeah.
But you're right that injuries could very well catch up to them, and
and then do you want Stroman as your number 1? Or I guess they'd probably put Nestor as their number 1, or Heel as their number 1. Heel would probably be their number 1. Nestor at your number 2.
The problem with Luis Heel though is he's already surpassed his career innings.
Yeah.
So we don't even know what he's gonna look like in a month.
Yeah, I don't trust Stroman out there on the bump for a playoff game.
Nah.
Heel, you're right. Who knows what I mean, we're halfway through the season.
Yep, and he's already hit his career innings. And he came off. He had a great start today, but he came off 3 terrible fucking starts where he got fucking shelled. He had a good start today, got 0 run support. Literally 0. They got shut out.
Oh, good Lord. Okay, so Heel innings pitched 2021, 29.1, 2022, 4, and 2024, 96.1.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes. Yeah, you have no idea how long he's going to go.
Or if he does keep going, like, we don't know what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
He's never even come close to this many innings.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and we still have a half a season left, dude.
And we have a half a season left, yeah. Plus, because they're going to be we don't know. They might not be in the playoffs.
Boston, Ben, if you were to be like, who's a better team top to bottom? Is it Yankees or Boston? I'd be like, Boston's a better team. They have a better lineup. They have better starting pitching. And their bullpen is just as good, if not better, than the Yankees, in my opinion. So, you know, Boston could very well overtake the Yankees. And then you have the Royals sitting there in the 3rd place. The thing that's benefiting the Yankees the most is the fact that really you have the Astros, Royals, Red Sox, Twins, Yankees, Mariners, Orioles, and Guardians. Like, those are going to be the playoff teams. Unless, like, the Tigers or Rays catch fire. And the Tigers did just sweep the fucking Reds. So I will throw that out there. And the Tigers do have the best starting pitching of all these teams.
You know what's crazy is if you take out if Houston comes over and takes the division, at the way things are going right now, if Houston comes and takes the division,
It's not if, it's when.
I'm just going as things are right now. Seattle is not in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They are not one of our wild card teams.
Yeah.
So that's a big, they're going to be there fighting there until the end. Yankees are still 4.5 games up on that last spot. So,
well Ben, but
they're heading downhill quick.
Ben, this is crazy, but let me throw something at you. All right. Who's a better team? The Tigers or the Mariners?
That's fucking hard.
Because Riley Green's probably the best position player of both of those teams.
Right. Yeah. On stats wise, yes. Yeah.
Right. And then Detroit definitely has the best pitcher of both those teams in Scooball.
Yeah, but I think Seattle has the best starting pitchers overall. I don't disagree with you.
They go
Scooball's the best.
The Mariners go 3 deep but Castillo hasn't been that great this year, and Kirby's been good. But the Tigers also throw Flaherty, Scooball, and fucking Reese Olson. I would take those 3 over the Mariners' top 3.
Yeah, Reese Olson's going to be a question mark for that second half of the year, though, because of innings.
Reese Olson's nice, though, dude.
Oh, no, I don't disagree with you, but I think that's kind of similar with Heel. Is you don't know when he gets way over his numbers.
But
we don't know where he's going to be in the second half of the year.
I'm only saying this because, we look at the Mariners and it's okay, they're in first place in the ALS. But it's dude, that team cannot fucking hit, dude. We talked about this on Tuesday. And the Tigers might have as good of pitching. The Mariners definitely have a better bullpen than the Tigers. But the Tigers have as good of a starting rotation, in my opinion, as the fucking Mariners do. So it's and the Tigers went sweeping the Reds this weekend in Cincinnati. That could be a huge boost to that team where it's because this team has a lot of good young players, dude. Colt Kelly, Riley Green, Jack McKinstry, they got good young talent. They just haven't been able to put it together.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe this was that weekend where they fucking put it together. They called up Parker Meadows again. Parker Meadows had a great fucking weekend. Maybe they roll that over. But dude, I could see the Mariners falling out of playoff contention easily, Ben.
Yeah. Well, it's all going to be dependent on the trade deadline. I think this is definitely.
Is there enough trades for them to make that lineup even reasonable though? Because that lineup sucks. Ben, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Pull in 2 bats though. I think that's what they're going to have to do.
You sound like fucking Eli right now. Let me ask you this, because Eli told me the same thing. Oh, you get 2 bats tonight. That's a good lineup. Let me ask you this. All right. J.P. Crawford hits leadoff for the Mariners, right?
Mm-hmm.
Name me another team he hits leadoff for.
Toronto?
No fucking way, dude. Over Bozo?
Yeah, I'd move Bozo down.
No, what I'm saying,
second or third.
I'm saying right now, who can he hit leadoff for right now? He's better than their leadoff hitter. He's a 9-8-9 hitter, dude. He's not a leadoff hitter.
Nobody in contention.
That's how bad the Mariners are. They need more than 2 bats, dude. They need I don't think there's enough trade. They got to over.
No, you only need 2 bats because you have a pitching staff that can win you games with that.
I agree, but what 2 bats? You got to get 2 very high impactful bats. And what 2 bats are they going to get? I don't know if they're going to be on the market because I don't know that a lot of teams are going to be willing and dealing because basically, 3/4 of the NL thinks they're still in contention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in the AL, you have the White Sox, the A's, and the Angels that are out of it. And then, I mean, the Blue Jays are definitely out of it, but they don't think they are. So they've already come out and said they're not trading their guys. So you can count them out.
And we've got, what, 2 more weeks?
We've got
When's trade deadline?
We've got 3 more weeks, but basically 2 more weeks because there's like a week break in the All Star break.
So, I mean, that could be telling, especially with the way that Toronto's going 4-6.
But they're not going to sell. They already said they're not.
Yeah, they always. Everybody says, "Oh, we're not going to sell. We're going to keep our core together," and that's.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're right saying that, but I don't know, dude.
Detroit could be that team though that ends up being 7.5 games back. Do we sell? Do we sell the pieces that we don't necessarily see being our long term?
But that's Texas, the problem is they're hella young.
Yeah,
that's the problem is like because I'll be straight up with you right now. If I was Detroit, I would trade Tariq Skubal because his value is as high as it's ever gonna be. Mm-hmm. His value may never be higher, right? And you got a plethora of teams that need starting pitching. You have the Orioles, you have the Dodgers, you have the Yankees. I mean, if you trade
Cy Young contender, especially in Detroit, your fan base is,
dude. Because Ben, listen to this. Mike Elias picks up the phone. He says, "Are you willing to trade Tariq Skubal?" And they're like, "Yes." What can you offer us? And he's like, "I'll give you Connor Norby. I'll give you Connor Norby. I'll give you Samuel Basallo, and I'll give you, Austin Hayes right now, who can go play right now for Tariq Skubal." You're talking 2 top prospects. I mean, you're talking Samuel Basallo is 19 years old and he's already fucking raking.
Yeah.
Right? That's the thing is like, dude, the Orioles, Ben, I'm telling you right now, bro, the Orioles are going to be desperate for starting pitching.
There's a couple teams that are going to be desperate for starting
There's pitching. A lot, but the Orioles have a plethora of fucking prospects that can trade you. Good ones, too, not just fucking... And MLB ready guys that you could like plug in there right now, and the Tigers can't hit. Like,
but I'm still thinking you're gonna have rioting in the streets if
I don't know, because Austin Hayes walks in that lineup tomorrow and he's their best hitter, or I'm sorry, second best hitter outside of Riley Green. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm the Tigers. And same thing with the A's and Mason Miller. Like, if I'm the A's, I'm absolutely listening on Mason Miller because this may be his highest value he ever has.
Yep.
So if I can get a haul for him, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And I think the Tigers should highly consider it. Now, let's say the Tigers go on, like, they win, 12 of their next 16, and they're only, like, 3.5 back of the wild card come the trade deadline. That changes a lot of things. Now, do I think the Tigers can make a run? I don't know. They got the starting pitching to do it.
They don't have the bats to do it.
They don't. But they did play very well in Cincinnati this weekend.
No. Well, that's not been too hard lately. The only team that's really had a problem with that was New York.
Yeah. How the fuck do you sweep the Yankees and you swept by the Tigers?
Yeah.
But I do think you have to consider it if you're the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, you have to get an absolute haul.
Yeah, it's got to be a haul. Because the thing is, too, Ben, if you put Skubal on the market, like, he's definitely the best pitcher available. Crochet, maybe long-term is better, but the problem with Crochet is, like, he's already approaching career innings. So, like, you don't know how he has an injury history, so you don't know how he's going to, really perform beyond the trade deadline, which I think scares and concerns a lot of teams. The Tigers also have Jack Flaherty, who's an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year, who's having a Cy Young type year as well, who they can shop.
Yeah. I don't think Screwball goes, fortunately. If anything, maybe after the year, but I don't think he goes deadline.
I think if the Tigers are out of it, I think they would be fucking bozos not to listen.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, it's just, is there going to be enough to get him there?
Oh, the Orioles got enough. The Orioles got enough. Take your pick. I would even throw Jackson Holiday in there, dude. If I'm the Orioles. I would. Ben, because if you get Screwball and you have Screwball, Burns, and Rodriguez as your top three, you're hands down World Series favorites for the next 2 to 3 years. Because you have a 2-3 year window. Screwball is under contract for 2 more years. Who's beating that rotation? That's a hell of fucking good rotation. And you already got Gunnar. You already got Westberg at third. Right? Then you throw Norby in. My thing is that's why I think the Orioles are going to... What's that?
There's no way they throw him in.
I don't think they do it, but Basalo's just as high of a prospect, basically. He's a top 15 prospect consensus in Major League Baseball. So it's if they throw Samuel Basalo...
Yeah, but they have Adley there.
Right. So it makes it Basalo expendable. But that's why I'm saying, if you throw Basalo, Norby, and fucking Stowers, and then you throw in an MLB guy right now like Hayes for Screwball, that gets it done, dude.
Yeah, I can understand that, but not Jackson. They're going to move him.
Well, Jackson's probably going to be up in the big leagues before or after All-Star break because Jorge Mateo's 4 for his last 90, dude. He has not been swinging the bats well.
It's going to be Westberg. Their infield is going to be Westberg, Mountcastle, Gunnar, and Holiday.
Well, Mountcastle, that's the thing though, is Mountcastle's due for an extension soon. And then Santander's due. So it's you gotta really decide on what you want to do, which is the big thing. However, the Orioles missed a prime opportunity last year because they were the best team in Major League Baseball last year. Obviously, Felix Bautista got hurt. That changed a lot of things. But they didn't make they made minute moves at the deadline. That didn't make them any better, Ben. Yeah. Well, now you're one of the best teams still, and you lost Bradish, and Bradish ain't coming back next year. He's out. All right. You lost John Means. He may never come back, dude. This is 2 Tommy Johns in 3 years. He might not ever be back.
Is Corbin still under contract?
I think he has 1 more year of arbitration. I think this might be his last year, but I'm pretty sure they're going to re-sign him. They have new ownership. So now is your time to go make a move, dude, because you threw a good opportunity away last year because you didn't want to give up any prospects. You didn't want to change your future. You didn't want to get involved and step inside your future, whatever. And you dropped a prime opportunity, right? Yeah. You cannot do that 2 years in a row. And the Orioles have new ownership, Rubenstein, and I think he's telling his front office yo, you guys got to be aggressive. We have an opportunity to win the World Series this year.
Yeah.
Because who's the favorite right now? The Phillies, and the Phillies are banged up.
The Phillies, the Dodgers.
The Dodgers blow, dude. I'm not even. I'm not even concerned about the Dodgers.
I'm talking, numbers wise.
No, I'm talking you, Ben. I'm talking you.
No,
who do you think can win the World Series?
Phillies or Orioles?
Right. Go out and make a fucking move that makes you a fucking contender. That makes you the favorite. Go get Tariq Screwball. Go get Garrett Crochet. Go get Mason Miller. Go get those guys that you need.
Yeah, because you don't need bats.
Nah. And you already you call up your prospects and you don't even play them. So, trade them.
Yeah.
Go win a World Series. You win a World Series this year, legends.
Yeah. Well, and your window is 1 year further down the line if you don't.
If you just wait, and they wasted it last year. They wasted a prime opportunity last year.
Last year they were ahead of their window.
They were young, but they won 100. They won 101 games, Ben.
Yeah, they were still young. They were ahead of their window.
Yeah,
were
but
not
Ben,
supposed to be where they were.
But Ben, what happens?
We both know that.
I get that, but what happens if they were to go get one of the top arms that was available last year? Like, what happens? Like, Dylan Cease was available and nobody wanted to give it. Like, what if they went out and got Dylan Cease last year? What if they went and got Jordan Montgomery? Jordan Montgomery was the best pitcher for the Rangers and they won a World Series.
Yeah, but that wasn't their problem. Their starting pitching wasn't their problem. It was their closing.
The starting pitching killed them in the fucking postseason, though, because they were all rookies. Grayson Rodriguez and Kyle Bradish had never been there.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And now you don't have Kyle Bradish, which is an even bigger. That was a whole reason why they went out and got Corbin Burns, was because, okay, Corbin Burns has been there. He's done it, right? He's won a Cy Young. He's been to the playoffs. And now we got Kyle Bradish, who's been to the playoffs. We got Grayson Rodriguez, who's been to the playoffs. They've been there. They know the moment. But now you lose Kyle Bradish.
Yeah, I mean, there's nobody saying that they don't need another starter.
Oh, they absolutely need two starters, to be honest.
Yeah.
They need a top of the line starter, and they need a guy that eats innings. Because, bro, I've seen enough of Cade Povich. He's not ready. He's got like a 70 ERA, bro. He out there just tossing turkeys.
Yeah. He
might be good in a couple of years, but he's not ready. He's only up in the big leagues right now because they have injuries.
Yeah. Yeah.
He should be pitching in AAA still. They got to make a move.
I agree.
They got to make a move. Shout out James Wood, Washington Nationals.
Yeah. First home run this week.
Did he hit a home run?
Yep.
Was it last night?
First one. 382. Yep.
Yeah, he's had a good week. He's hitting like 350 in his first week, dude. He's having a hell of a fucking good week.
Dude, kid's a fucking stud.
Yeah, he's good.
I mean, I know you gotta give to get Soto, but man, that was a tough pill to swallow for San Diego.
And CJ Abrams, dude.
And CJ Abrams, yep. And man, to only get 1 year, one subpar year of two subpar years of Soto in
One
San
and a
Diego.
half, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean that. If you're San Diego looking back, that hurts. That
yeah, but if you're San Diego,
hurts.
you're like, yeah, our outfield's all in the All-Star game, so I think we're good.
Yeah. Yeah, but imagine what that team would be with CJ Abrams and fucking being able to call up James Wood.
Well, the whole reason why they were willing to do it is because, Jackson Merrill is actually a shortstop. Right? That's his natural position. So they were like, okay, well, we have Jackson Merrill coming up. Like, we'll ship out CJ Abrams. But I mean, imagine if you had CJ Abrams and Jackson Merrill on the same team right now.
Who's playing second for San Diego?
Jake Cronenworth, Luis Ariz. They kind of really rotate around. San Diego, if you're not familiar, San Diego has 6 shortstops on their team right now.
Yeah.
Ha-Seong Kim, Fernando Tatis Jr., Jake Cronenworth, actually a shortstop. Jackson Merrill. Did I say Fernando Tatis Jr.?
Yeah.
Fernando, Ha-Seong Kim, Jackson Merrill, Jake Cronenworth, Jerickson Profar.
Yeah.
Shortstop. And then I have one more. Name slipping my fucking mind.
Machado's always been third, right?
He came up as a shortstop, but he's basically played third most of his career.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's incredible that the Padres, because I mean, honestly, shortstop's the most athletic position. So like, if you just draft shortstops,
yeah, you can put them on.
Breaking news, Ben. The Reds have acquired outfielder Austin Slater in cash considerations from the Giants in exchange for left-handed pitcher Alex Young.
I don't know who Alex Young is.
I got like 3 people that just text me that in a.
I mean, Austin Slater's a good bat
against
at
lefties.
times. Alex Young.
Left-handed pitcher Alex Young.
Well, we need fucking relief pitching. So let's see. Left-handed pitcher has a .1 WAR. Has played 3 games, 2 innings pitched, 0 ERA. Last year, he pitched 63 games for 53.2 and 53 2/3 innings. The 3.68 ERA was 4-2.
He's a reliever, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's let's see, his average ERA over his 6 years, 4.4, 2.5 with Arizona, a season and a half with Cleveland. Oh no, not even a season and a half with Cleveland. He pitched for the Giants in 2022. So they brought him back.
Okay.
He pitched very well for the Giants. 24 innings, 2.39 ERA.
Okay.
Was that FIP of 2.96?
I think this is more of a. I don't even know what the fucking Reds are doing. Dude.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Alex Young is him or anything, but
I mean, it probably. I mean, it adds for each of these teams. It adds an additional, DH bat for Cincinnati, and it adds a relief pitcher for San Francisco. How's Cincinnati's outfield doing right now?
Well, so that might mean Stuart Fairchild's pretty hurt if they traded for Austin
Slater.
Yeah, because he didn't start against a lefty today, which is very uncommon because he usually always starts against lefties. So I was seeing on Red's Twitter that he might have been hurt, which makes sense if they go get Austin Slater. But the Reds, I mean, man, they're. I mean,
who is it? Stuart Fairchild.
Yeah.
We've got TJ Friedel on the 10-day IL.
Yep. But if they lost Stuart Fairchild, because he smashes lefties.
Okay.
Like he's their lefty guy, dude.
Okay. Yeah, I mean they're pretty banged up with Encarnacio Strand out. You basically don't have. I guess it's what Spencer Steer playing first.
Yeah, Steer's hella good though. They really need Matt McClain back. That shit's hurting them. And Noel V. Marte Ben went 3 for 5 his first game, and he has 3 total hits since.
Oof.
Struggling, dude.
Yeah, well, when you don't have the juice, that secret sauce, it's a little harder.
They need to get him They need to get him going because that team is. You got Ellie De La Cruz, Jaimer Caminario. That team should be so much better than they are, man. The bullpen really fucking blows though.
See, they've got 2 more series versus Colorado and versus they're lucky there. Versus Colorado and versus Miami to end the first half of the season. So that helps.
Ooh.
Well, it's not really even the first half of the season.
The Mets bullpen blows too.
Yeah.
They got a good lineup, man. They need a bullpen. They do get Diaz back, though, which is good. All right, let's get some best bets for tomorrow. Ben, you got anything?
Here we
I only got one. I am going with we're gonna go Twins team total over tomorrow. We don't have a starter for the Twins right now. See, we aren't getting.
It's gonna be
real
Paddock.
Good. What's that?
It's gonna be Chris Paddock. He's coming. They're bringing him off the IL.
Okay, so I mean that doesn't necessarily matter with the way that I'm looking at. I'm looking at Chris Flexen and going with the over here for Minnesota. Minnesota is definitely in need to get as many wins as they can. They are 7-3 in their last 10. Definitely hot team right now. Bats are hitting well. So I'm looking for them to slam Flexen tomorrow. If we talk about a turkey tosser, this is a career turkey tosser. Bay Area native, unfortunately, not the best Bay Area native here. So we're going to be going against Flexen and his 5.25 ERA at home tomorrow.
Nice. I'm going Nationals money line -105. Mitchell Parker on the mound facing Miles Mikolas. The Nationals actually smash sinker balls, which Miles Mikolas does throw. He's also a turkey tosser. So I'll take a shot there with the Nationals -105. And then I also like the under 8.5 with the Guardians and Detroit Tigers. We got a pretty funky matchup. We got Gavin Williams. Obviously, he's coming back from the IL. He made his first start last week. But I expect him to be a lot better this week. And then we got Keider Montero. Montero has a much better xFIP than his ERA, so I do expect some regression. Plus, the Guardians' offense has been regressing a little bit. Not a little bit. They've been regressing a lot the last few weeks. So, actually, I like the under in this one. And I honestly lean Tigers money line. I do like the way the Tigers are playing. And Keider Montero is one of their top prospects as well. So, he's a good pitcher. He's not no slouch. So I do lean Tigers there, but I'm going to play the under 8.5 there.
There we go.
Yes. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining us. Make sure to, tap in with us. On Tuesday, we'll be breaking down Major League Baseball for the following Wednesday. Best bets, etc. That whole show is just breaking down games. If you missed any of this show, you can download it on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify. Go get it after the show. It'll be up there. Listen to it. Tell your friends. Let us know. Yeah, man. We appreciate y'all for hanging out with us. Follow us on Instagram at Taproom Sports Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Taproom_sports. Follow myself at Jordan Rules TSP. We'll be back on Tuesday. Love y'all. Have a great Monday. Especially those that have had like a 5-day weekend. Good luck.
Go Taylor Swift.